What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, your girl. I hope, first things first, I hope you can hear over the air conditioning. I have it on low, I have it on fan because it is really hot, really humid in New York today. Even though it's not super sunny as per the weather app, it is 70. No, it's 83, but it feels like it's like 93 even on like the inside. Not that, I mean, compared to me being outside. But yeah, so I really wanted to shoot today's video. I've had this idea for a pretty long time. It's really been written in my notes for maybe some months now, but I finally got around to doing it because I have some free time. I'm on a little mini vacay, and as you can see in today's title, we're going to be talking about nursing school and how you can afford nursing school. So first things first, I'd like to say that I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial guru. I am not the smartest person when it comes to money, but I feel that I can give some perspective because I'm currently working on my third degree. So I kind of got a hang of certain things, and there's some mistakes that I've made in the past that I want to share with you all so that you too cannot make this mistake, or if you're like kind of on the way to make it, you can kind of reel yourself back in. So yeah, if you're interested in finding out ways to get through nursing school, keep on watching. Okay, so the first things first, I'm gonna give 3 different ideas or ways that you can afford nursing school. The first is probably the most common, and actually the most, like, people are really taking a step back from this approach, is actually to just take out a loan and pay for nursing school. So I'll give my story first, and after that I'll give you guys a little bit of insight. So for my undergrad, I went to a private university, and initially I applied for financial aid, and I was denied assistance because, as per them, they claimed, or they thought, or they deemed that I had, or my household made too much money. Now, I don't know what the criteria is, but they didn't give me much at all. They didn't give me anything, quite honestly. I just got a $7,000 scholarship for the year, and if you know anything about college, and if you know anything about private universities, you know that $7,000 is nothing. So I discussed everything with my parents, and they basically said, you know, stay at the school, and we'll take out loans, and at the end, if anything, you know, we'll bust these loans out together. I will help you pay these loans, etc., etc. So lo and behold, I stayed at the private university, and I took out loans for every single semester. Now, undergrad is 4 years. I completed my nursing program in 4 years, thank God, hallelujah. And right afterwards, I was able to get a job, and to this day, I'm good. Like, I still got the same job, you know. I'm doing pretty good for myself. Now, I'm not necessarily encouraging everybody to take out loans, but I'm just saying that is a form of payment. That's a way for you to actually get through nursing school. Now, what I'm gonna do in this video, I'm gonna tie in like some of my experiences and some of the experiences that I know other people have had to make it make sense. So now, if you are someone in a situation where, you know, you probably don't come from money, or you're really hung up on going to this school, you know, a private university or a university that's a little bit outside of your budget, I would recommend that first. I mean, this is a little bit hard, but everybody doesn't always know what they want to do or what they want to be when they're in, you know, at the end of their 4 years of undergrad, so to speak. Some people, they go in one major and then they switch, or some people go in undeclared and they try to find their way while they're in school. And sometimes that could be a waste of money, that could be a waste of time. I knew that I wanted to be a nurse, and I stuck with it. But if I didn't know, then I would have been bouncing around, switching from major to major, or I could have started off and not been able to finish it. Now imagine if I'd completed, let's say, 2 years of school, I'm taking these general courses, and I don't really, you know, find myself interested in being a nurse anymore. Now, I've basically not only wasted 2 years, but I've also accrued all these loans, and in the end, who does it hurt? Me. Who does it benefit? The bank that's actually lending me the money. So I would say, if you are certain, and even if you're not certain, but you know for sure that you want to go to college, if you can, I would say the first 2 years, go to a community college. Some people do frown upon community colleges. I'm not too sure why, but community colleges are great. They are a little bit more difficult than going to a private university because obviously you're dealing with a larger crowd. They're a little bit more difficult. It's not as intimate. It's not an intimate setting where it's like one teacher. The teacher to student ratio is a little bit greater. I find that sometimes community colleges are a little bit less tolerant when it comes to grades and just the flexibility and everything of that sort. But if you are willing to make the effort and willing to do the work, I would definitely recommend that you just go to community college, at least for the first 2 years, or even if it's like a year and a half. Do your prerequisites and then line it up with the school of your choice. If you do want to graduate from a private university, that's something that is on your, you know, that's on your bucket list, and you really want to have that degree or that university attached to your degree, that's fine. Just make sure that the community college that you're attending has credits that are transferable to the university that you're interested in. And you know, just quite honestly, like, there were many classes that I took as an undergrad that I will never use again. It's just like the things that you learn when you're in elementary school and in high school. Some of these things you never really use again. You just gotta get through it just to pass. So in hindsight, would I have taken out 4 years of loans? No. But do I thank God that I am able to actually share this experience with people? Yes. And because of this, I've been able to kind of guide people in certain directions. Like, nah, if I were you, I would do this, I wouldn't do this, because everybody's path isn't the same. Everybody doesn't want to be a nurse. Everybody doesn't want to be a doctor. I guess my advice even goes to anybody. If you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a social worker, if you want to be an accountant, anything that is in the professional capacity, I would say for the first couple of years, just shave off those years by going to a community college. And if a university is something that you're really hung up on, then you can transfer in. And if you think about it, 2 years of loans versus 4 years of loans is a great difference. It's a great difference. And a lot of people a lot of us are really shying away from loans. Like, a lot of us are noticing that, yeah, you're pushed to go to these schools that are very expensive, or pristine schools or prestigious universities, but at the end of the day, like, don't look at the other person whose parents are able to afford it. Meanwhile, you're taking out loans on top of loans on top of loans on top of loans, and you graduate with a degree that A, probably that you're never going to work on, or B, you get into a field that you absolutely hate, and at the end of the day, who suffers? It is you. So the first thing, of course, you know, there are loans out there that are great for students. I don't know all the particulars. I'm not really going to touch on things that I don't really know, but I know that there are federal loans. I know that there are private loans. I took out a combination of both federal loans and private loans. I've been able to knock off my federal loans. I've knocked off shaved off $10,000 off one of them. Well, not shaved off, I paid $10,000 on one of them. I paid another $10,000 on another one, and then I'm working on my big loan, which is my private loan. And that's the one that I'm basically just putting all of my efforts, all of my money into. So of course you have loans, which are the first option if that is something that you have to do. So the second way that you can afford nursing school is basically to just stack your money and pay it, like just pay it off. Now, I did not have the opportunity to do so because when I was in undergrad, I started college at the age of 18, just like pretty much most people. I started at 18, and at the time I was working at Dunkin' Donuts, and I was scouted, I can say, by an insurance agent, and I was employed probably a year. Within the first year, I think within my freshman year of college, I transitioned from working at Dunkin' Donuts to working at an insurance agency at State Farm. Now, at the beginning of the nursing program, at the beginning of college, you're not really in the program itself. You're kind of just like working your way, doing your prerequisites until you actually get into the program. So in the beginning, I had a lot of flexibility because I'm taking basic classes, you know, a little English, like statistics, psych, you know, the little basic things that are not too heavy. I wasn't necessarily deep in nursing, in the nursing program, and because of that I was able to work a good amount of hours. If I'm not mistaken, I was pushing at one point close to 40 hours, almost like basically close to full-time working at State Farm. So with that, I had a little flexibility. I had enough money to put gas in my car. I was able to buy food. I was able to buy my books. I was able to, you know, just move around a little freely. Now, as I progressed and I eventually got into the program, things became a little bit more intensive, like a little bit more like, all right, Kim, it's either you're gonna be working or you're gonna be going to school. So of course I had to shave down on my hours, and I had to basically focus more so on school, because that was my ultimate goal, and that was something that I really needed to just allocate all of my time to. So now with less hours, you're making less money. With less money, you're kind of a little bit more tight. Now, I didn't have the opportunity to pay out school, pay my school like as I was going, but I know 2 people who actually did it, and they're living like easy breezy. So one of my friends, she actually took out a loan, if I'm not mistaken. I believe she took out a loan, and what she did was pay the interest as she was in school. Like, there's nothing that says that just because you take out a loan you have to pay it after. Like, let's say you take out a loan today, that doesn't mean that you have to wait until like you're done with school and start paying the loan back. You could pay the loan back while you're in school. And one of my friends, she actually did that. She took out a loan and she was putting up a lot of money towards the interest and basically paying the loan while she was in school. So at the end, she basically was, you know, like free. And another one of my friends, she worked, and you know who you are, she worked and paid her way through school, like, and she did it twice, because she got a degree in something, and then she went back and got a degree in something else. But she was able to just bust her behind and pay her way through school. Now this method, everybody can't do it, because like I said, with me, I was an undergrad, not an undergrad. With me, I was a teen. Like, I was a young girl, basically not making any money. So for me to pay back school, I wasn't making enough for me to have enough for myself and then to pay the school. But I'm gonna link somewhere like in the atmosphere, somewhere up here, the video where I talk about how to basically save like 10 grand a year. Now that video it's not targeted specifically towards 10 grand, but I myself have been able to save a lot of money kind of following these methods. And if you are in a place where you can join, I forgot the name, you guys have been telling me the name of it, but I'm gonna call it susu because that's what we call it, a sol. If you have an opportunity to join like a sol, or basically get a lump sum of money, like, you know, in one sitting, and kind of just like pay back towards it, which is not a loan, I would definitely say do that. Not only does this give you the freedom, like you'll be so free at the end of your schooling. Not only does it give you the freedom, but it also gives you, if I think about it, you know, just logically, it kind of gives you the urge to be like, I have to pass these classes. Because when you're taking out a loan, right, it's not your money. It's your money, but it ain't your money. Like, you don't feel like it's your money up front. It's your money in the back end, but in the front end, you're like, yeah, I'm getting from Capital One. Like, I'm good. This is their money. And if you fail the class, you don't really feel it too much. If things don't really go the way that, you know, you intended, you don't really feel it too much, because I guess in your mind, or the average mindset will be like, it ain't my money up front. But when you are shelling out like 10 grand, let's say, and I'm just speaking 10 grand because I'm thinking like a private university type of situation. If you shelling out 10 grand a semester, you know that if you fail a class, that's your money that you lost, honey. Like, you are out of money. Now, with me, now that I'm currently working, I've got so far I'm 2 degrees down. I got my bachelor's and I got my master's. Now with my master's, I also had to pay out pay for my classes out of my own pocket. Now, I am blessed and fortunate to be in a situation where my employer gives back some type of reimbursement. But the thing with that is, if you fail, that's on you. Like, it's your money that you have to pay first, and then if you pass, you get the money back. If you don't, that's your loss. Now, would I recommend this for most people? If you can, yes. A lot of us probably are starting our careers a little bit late. Some of us did not really know, probably went into one career, didn't like it, already ready to make the switch, but everybody's not 18, everybody's not 21, everybody's not 22, you know what I'm saying? Some of us are 25, 30 trying to go back to school. I don't really know all the budgeting tools, I don't know really all the budgeting strategies, but my thing is, if it's something that you are interested in pursuing, something that you are serious about, I would say set a goal. Like, if you know, right now we're in the summer of 2019, we know that school's going to start in August. Well, everybody may not have $10,000 disposable cash to throw into a semester of school, or to throw into 2 semesters of school. You might have $10,000 in your account, you might have 20 in your account, but is that something that's disposable where you're like, nah, I got more, like if I take out 20 I'm still comfortable? That's not a lot of people. So with that, set a goal. If you say that you know that you want to go to nursing school and you really want to pay out of your pocket, you don't want to have to take out loans, I would encourage you to really buckle down and start saving this money. But nevertheless, cash is king. If you have the money, I would say pay for your school outright. And the last suggestion that I have is to have your job pay for your school. If I could do this all over again, guys, I would have had my job pay for my undergrad, my master's, and my doctorate program. But you know what? Everything is a lesson. Everything has its purpose. And because I was able to go through the loan process and that whole experience, I even more so appreciate the assistance that I've gotten from my employer to not only get my master's degree, but to pursue my doctorate degree. So here in New York City, we are very union embracing. We love unions. Unions love us. And more often, if I'm not mistaken, most jobs here in New York are backed by a union, and the unions obviously have their pros. They have their pros, and that's hence the reason why most people want union jobs. Now, when I first started my job, I noticed that there were various people that work in a hospital setting, because of course prior to me being a nurse, I was just a regular student. I've never really been in a hospital setting. Not really. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I started with various people that make the hospital run. It's not just doctors, it's not just nurses, it's not just the executives. There are housekeepers, there are dietary, I'll call them technicians, dietary aides. You have PCTs, CNAs, you have the clerks, you have the security guards, you have the people in part of environmental services, you have there's so many people who are not necessarily professionals who make the job, who make the hospital what it is, right? So now there are people that I remember seeing in those positions 2 years later, 3 years later, they got scrubs on and they're basically working alongside me. Now these are people, if you ask me, I think these people are brilliant. I think they are geniuses. They got into a place where the job either provides 100% reimbursement, or the job says if you go to this school, we will cover these classes, or the job says we will, even though you may not have some of your prerequisites, go to this community college and get this class out the way, so that when you do want to enter into some type of professional field or some type of professional program, you already have that covered. Here in New York, for nurses, we pretty much have basically 2 different unions, either NYSNA, which is the New York State Nurses Association, or 1199. And if I'm forgetting something, please guys let me know down below, but these are the 2 main ones that I know here in New York, and for the most part they're doing great. They do great for nurses or people who are interested in nursing as a profession, or just people who want to progress. So I know that some of where I work, thank God, I got 100% reimbursement back for any class that I passed. Some places offer you maybe 5 grand, some places offer 7, some places offer 3. I find that the hospitals that offer a little bit, who are a little bit more strict or have stricter guidelines, they kind of want you to, of course, go to school, but they want you to spend less money, because at the end of the day, it is their money. So they would prefer to say, all right, we'll give you 5 grand. If you want to go to a school that costs 10 grand per semester, that's on you. We're giving you 5, you shell out the other 5. But nonetheless, I would encourage you not to frown on the positions that okay, I'll just say this, coming from a Caribbean household, coming from a brown space, there are a certain class of jobs that people praise, and there's a certain class of jobs that people don't necessarily, they don't smile too heavily on those jobs. But my thing is, if you know for a fact that you have a plan and you're not only working in a place, but you're trying to get the most out of that place, I would say do what you need to do. There are tons of jobs in the hospital. There are tons of jobs, and once you get in, some of the requirements may be that you work for 1 year, and after 1 year you are eligible for full benefits. But you can do your research, find out which jobs are A, unionized, and B, what they offer their employees, and then you just go from there. And you just got to be smart. You just got to be smart. Work the system, okay? Because the system is trying to work you. Work the system. So of course, guys, I think that's all I have for today. I would love to hear your guys' suggestions and opinions. You know, we chat in the comments down below. And if I'm missing anything, if I'm forgetting something, I'll probably leave it in the description, or just let me know. Just check me in the comments nicely, with love and kindness. So yeah, guys, I will talk to you guys in my next video, and I thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking by, and thank you for still holding me down, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.